Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 4 of boot camp. You guys have been sticking through it. I'm so super proud of you. Today, we're going to be going over designs and campaigns in Command. By far and away, to me at least, the most fun day of the week. However, I was a marketing major, so that could be why I like it so much. So once we get here into Command, don't forget our applets over here on the left. If we ever forget what they're called, we can hover over the top, or we can click the white KW on the red background in the upper left corner, pop those out. So to start off, we're going to move into designs. So remember, this is an integrated system where everything kind of works together, right? So in designs, we can make email designs, we can make social media designs, we can make postcards, we can make door hangers, flyers for listings, all kinds of stuff here, our email signatures. There's a lot of stuff hanging out in designs that we can make. It is one of those platforms that you do get used to it as you use it. So I do recommend that you come in here. As you can see, I use it quite a bit. I have 779 designs in mine. If you haven't created one yet, you won't see anything here on this home screen because this is where your designs will land eventually, okay? And all of the designs that we make here, we can utilize most of them through campaigns, which we're going to look at in the second half of today's class. So if you make a social media image or something like that, then you can turn around and post it to Facebook through the campaigns applet in Command. Vice versa, if you design an email in here, you could turn around and send it through the campaign side. That's one of the ways that you could send an email design, okay? So just remember, everything kind of works together, but I'm trying to show you each piece at a time, okay? So once we're in designs, it's a little paintbrush on the canvas. That's our applet. We're going to come up to the right here and click Create Designs. I do want to draw your attention to this import button. The purpose of that import button, if you're an agent that came from another company, or if you've already been in real estate for a while and maybe you have, a listing flyer that you like a lot already, you can actually upload a PDF into designs and edit it. So that's what this import button is for. Once you have 779 designs, like your Crazy Market Center Tech Trainer, you also have a filter button up here at the top. So you can filter down by email, social, print, and video and apply those filters. So say I only wanted to see my social, then I could apply the filters. And these are just the social designs that I have made throughout the times that I've been using this platform. There's Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's what we're going to make today. Okay, so that's what this home screen does. Now, when I click Create Design, you're going to notice that I'm going to come out of Command. We're going to move into a company called WeBrand that we partnered with that is providing this designs platform to us. So you're going to lose your applets on the left. So this is always where I like to draw you guys' attention to the fact that lots of times we're working on multiple things, right? You can have more than one command window open, okay? And so I'll show you one of the reasons right now. I'm going to go ahead and open a second command window. So I've got that hanging out here, right? I'm going to come back to where I was in designs. We're going to go ahead and click Create Design. We're going to go with social first and going to click Continue here. So now you're going to see it's redirecting us to WeBrand. Our little icon changes up here in the upper left corner on our tab. And we are going to not have our applets over here on the left anymore. This is now where all of our templates are, right? So can you get out of here and get back to Command? Yes. And if you're working on a design and then someone calls you and you want to take notes on your conversation, you don't want to have to like back yourself out of what you're already working on. So I just like to let you guys know you can just open another command window simultaneously, right? And that's usually what I do when I'm in the designs platform. So before we get to creating, I want to draw your attention to this button at the top called Assets, okay? Before you start making any designs, I want you to come to Assets. So you still need to click Create Design and pick Social. so that you can get yourself to this screen. Okay. But then I want you guys to go to your assets. Everybody hanging out with me? We good? Delete some. Yep. Good deal. Okay. So once we are in the assets of our designs platform, this is where we can really brand ourselves, right? So you guys have seen my email signature. It's this dark teal color, right? That's a color I use a lot. I also use a lot of red, black, gray in my stuff because Keller Williams is red and black, obviously. And then Command, you see a lot of the teal color in there. So that's kind of my brand colors that I've chosen to use. So I can come up with a color palette. Okay. So right here in this corner, I can add color palette. And I'm going to rename this color palette St. Patty's Day. Right. So now I can have another color palette, and I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to get there in those nice greens. Maybe I want a dark green, and then I want like a lime green, and then I want a black, right? And I can go through and pick all these different colors that I want for my St. Patrick's Day color palette, or whatever color palette you have. You can have as many as you want, or you can just have one that's your brand colors. And I'll show you where this comes into play later. But you just have to click add color palette in the upper right to get here. Okay. You can also upload fonts. So if you work with the designer to build your logo or the way that you want everything to look on your business cards, and they use a specific font that does not exist in Command, if you have the correct format, which is one of these 5, if it'll work for me. Hold on. Let me go back. If you click this upload button, you have to have a TTF, WOFF, right? Any of these 5 formats. So you can upload a brand font, or you can search the web for a font. So if you have your own font for your brand, you can upload it here in one of those 5 file formats. Good. Next up, images. Okay. You can even create files in here, which is great. So I have a folder of my headshots in different sizes, you know, transparent background, portrait, and squares, and all that kind of stuff. Right. I have command screenshots because I use these in a lot of my stuff. Obviously, you guys might have a picture of a listing that you really, really liked or something like that, and you want to reuse it over and over again, then you can have that here. I also work with the leadership team in Winston a lot, so I have some of their headshots, right? So you can have as many folders of images in here as you want. Okay, my Labs Advisor logo and that kind of stuff. So images, you can upload there, whatever you would like to put there. So I know that like some people have a photographer to give them a bunch of pictures of like a city. Like if they really, really work hard in Louisville, and they have a picture of the town square, and they have a picture of when we used to have the beach blast in Louisville or something like that, and you like to use those images, then you could upload those here. And next up is text. This one is a time saver. Okay. It does take a little bit of setup. It takes a little bit of use of the designs for you to learn what you need in here. Okay. So I've got my phone number. I've got my email address. I've got my website. I've got my biography. I've got my app code saved in here, my Facebook URL. And see where I've made these little blocks of text, and I named it a contact block. I made that myself because I noticed in a lot of designs that that's how our information was. So it was easier for me to replace it. So this is just something you kind of come by through use. The same with this, my email, the little line, my website, the little line of my phone number. I saw that in a design and I was like, well, I don't want to have to type this every time. So I came in here and saved it. And I'll show you where you can replace that kind of stuff. Cool. So anything you think you might type a lot, add it here. Logos. If you didn't know, whichever company you're with has multiple logos, right? So here's all my KW United logos in all their different colors, all their different formats, transparent backgrounds, etc. Right? KW1 is the same. Got all those. And then KW Winston-Salem looks like that. And you might go, well, I only have one logo and it doesn't look like that. That's okay. You're going to pop over into KW Connect, another one of your great KW resources. My allergies are kicking my behind this week. I apologize for my sniffles. Okay, so here we are in KW Connect. There's a ton of information in here for you guys, right? There's classes in here. There's all kinds of stuff. There's reports in here. The KW white pages are in here where you can look for other agents. One of the ways that you can look for other agents is here. But what we're going to draw our attention to today is these resources right here. Okay. We're going to slide down to marketing. And you've got all this stuff here. A lot of this is going to bring you back into command, right? This is designs training, which is essentially what we're doing today. But what we're going to look at is logos and branding right here. This identity and style guide is like the rules around KW marketing. So if you decide that you want to get like a customized sign for a luxury listing made or something like that, if that company is not KW approved yet, they don't have this. So they might ask you for this so they get the right color format for everything. So if you ever need to download this, you can download it. Keep moving along. Market Center logos. So this is where you can go to get all those different colors of logos. You're just going to type your Market Center number into this box. Winston-Salem 994, Greensboro 509, Chapel Hill 685. So I'm going to hit 994. There's KW Elite. You click this download button, you get a zipped folder that's got all of those file formats in it, and you can upload them into your assets. So I do recommend that you guys take time to come and do this because it makes your life a whole lot easier when you're making designs. And this is, of course, my fake team logo that I've made and uploaded here. So if you come up with your own logo, drop it in there. Elements. These are just like stickers or buttons or stuff like that that you're going to use a lot.
Hey, Monica.
Yeah.
Quick question on that, the marketing and the logos. Like for Keller Williams 1, it only has, it only has one logo and it says KW Greensboro. It's like an old one.
Oh, I guess they haven't upgraded it there yet. But luckily for you, wherever it did come from, I have it.
No, I know. I actually have it. I was just.
Oh, you have all of them. I will find out why that's not there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. I would think, I mean, it's been enough time since you guys merged that I would think they would be there, but.
It's been a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. So let me look into that for you.
Thank you.
Question though. Videos. If you are going to use videos in email stuff or maybe a landing page or different stuff that you can make, you can pull videos in from YouTube, which is what I've done with these, just as an example. So if you had your own video on YouTube, you could add your video from a YouTube link like this, and you could go to where your video is. I know that some people in this room, not going to name any names, want to get into doing video. So if you get those videos made, I will show you how you can pull it in by this. So here was BootCamp, and I apologize. Yesterday was a little crazy when command went down. Thankfully, it wasn't during our class, so I did not upload yesterday's video yet because I was stressing and in here going, oh my gosh, please get it fixed. And we had the Winston-Salem Awards banquet last night, so I had to rush and get to that as well. But I will get that video uploaded today. But nonetheless, I just clicked the share button on my YouTube video. I grab this link, come in here, I paste the link, and then I click add, and boom. There's the video for me to use in whatever I need to. You can also upload it from your computer, which is a recent addition here. And again, you can make folders here. So if you had like an intro video, like Ken Pozik's, and I'm going to show you guys Ken's video, because if you decide that you want to start doing video, I highly recommend that you do like an intro video like he did. Now his is obviously produced. But if you haven't ever heard Ken speak, he's great, and I just adore him. And I love this intro video that he did because it's funny and only a minute long. So I'm gonna show you.
Hi, I'm Ken Pozik, real estate agent here in Orlando, Florida. And there's a few things that I'm just okay at, like juggling and playing the guitar. But at least I suck at tennis. And don't get me started on basketball. Hit me. But there is
Oh my gosh, that is so
one thing that I am very good at, which is selling real estate. How do I know? Well, hundreds of my team and I's past clients have left us 5-star reviews on Google, Facebook, Realtor.com, Zillow, Angie's List, Yelp, and Google.
You already said Google.
I know. She might say, well, Ken, do 5-star reviews even matter? Well, you wouldn't eat from a 1-star sushi restaurant, would you? Or get your haircut by a 2-star Karen.
Honey, sit back. Let me do what I do.
I don't think so. So give me a call today if you're looking to buy or sell a house anywhere in the Orlando area. I'll use my decade of experience to save you time, money, and we'll have fun in the process. Look forward to talking to you soon.
See, short, sweet, simple, funny, right? That's a great video to start off with because you can put it in all kinds of marketing materials. So just a thought. So videos, you can add those here. And last but not least is files. I've still yet to figure out where these files are going to come into play in a design, but I wanted to test it. So I uploaded a Working with Real Estate Agents there, and it works. I just haven't found out where to plug it in yet, but maybe I will eventually. Okay. So nonetheless, take your time, go set up your assets. I promise you it'll be worth it in the long run. Okay. So once you have your assets set up, you can go back to this My Design button. You can start from blank. So if you just know that you want to make a Facebook cover, but you are just super graphically inclined and you want to just come up with it all on your own, you can start from blank. You can pick sizes. They already have them in here for door hanger or email signature or Facebook covers or all that kind of stuff. If you have all the pieces that you already want in place, good for you. I don't, so I like the templates, right? So I use this templates tab, or I can click the go to templates button. Okay. So from here, we have some stuff for K-score. So if you know somebody who is looking to get into real estate, it's a great time for them to do so because we have free pre-licensing. However, we have to be really careful with the verbiage that we say in North Carolina about free real estate school. Okay. So if you're going to get people to sign up for K-score, use the designs that are already here because they are done legally, so you won't get yourself in trouble. Okay. So that's hanging out there for you under K-score. Of course, we have stuff for listings, coming soon and for sale, just listed, just sold, local expert, neighborhood snapshots, open houses, price updates, all kinds of stuff there for listings. For buyers, we have stuff about Keller Mortgage. We talked about Keller Mortgage yesterday. We also have neighborhood snapshots, right? Lead gen. This is where you get some loving on your clients type stuff. Happy birthday. There's some little graphics that show home safe tips for the holiday, right? You can wish them a happy birthday on social media, because we all know if we don't do it there, it doesn't count, right? If you get a really great testimonial, you can use one of these beautiful formats to highlight it on social media. If you're going to have an event, you've got some invitations. Okay, there's that pie giveaway that we were talking about, right? Some client events, get those sponsored. Few things under expert advice, some tax benefits that homeowners should know about. If you love doing CMAs and you want to offer that, we have home value. What's your home worth? Those are pretty popular. We have some stuff to show your KW love, right? Red Day is right around the corner. It'll be in May. A lot of you, this will be your first one. I'm sure you're going to love it. It always inspires me, right? So we have all this cool stuff through here that we can use. Sharing our app online. We know now how to get our app code, so you can share that stuff. Also share your website, show it a little love, right? Find homes in top rated school districts. You guys don't even have to create this stuff. That's just there for you. There's your picture, you know your website, post it on Facebook. Done. Okay. And last but certainly not least, under lead generation, is your personally branded magazine. Okay. So we have a quarterly, it comes out quarterly magazine that you can come in here and you can edit, right? It's got 3 articles that are unchanging. And then all the other stuff, you can delete the pages, you can keep the pages, you can edit the pages. You just can't edit the articles, right? So these are social media posts, because remember we picked social earlier, not print. So these are the social media posts that you can push out with your magazine. And if we have enough time, we'll take a look at those. But I want to keep it nice and simple today on what we're doing. Business basics is those email signatures, and social branding looks like this. So that's really great for like cover photos on stuff. But I want to get down here to holidays. They were nice enough to finally break this down into months, right? It didn't used to be like this. It was just a super long list of like every holiday known to creation and designs for it. So we're going to go into March, which is where we are now. People always tell me, I don't know what to post. I don't have any content to post. I don't have anything to post. I don't know what to post. You have all kinds of stuff that you can post about. It's about consistency, right? And look at all the things you have. St. Patrick's Day, first day of spring, Women's History Month, right? This kind of reminds me of Lucky Charms. Now I want to go have some of those for lunch potentially. I mean, that's a good St. Patrick's Day meal, in my opinion. Some Lucky Charms. Employee Appreciation Day, Women's Day, Mardi Gras, right? All kinds of stuff. It's loading. But look at all this stuff we've got. And this is just under March. Daylight savings time. Me and Marilla did one of those the other day, right? You can use these graphics to put them on social media. You could put them in an email campaign, which is something that I did, or it was a smart plan email drip campaign, right? That a lot of people are using. So
everybody should use that. It's amazing. You need to show them how to get that.
I will show them. I will definitely show them. It's a lot to take in your first week, really diving into command to first, start off with that one. But it's pretty good. So I made emails for every holiday, right? And you can add the smart plan. There's just some rules, like you have to start it on a specific day. Like my email went out yesterday. I'll show you what it looked like.
Mine finally went out at 6 last night.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was just, I was like, please, command, come back up. The first thing I did when I got home from the KW awards banquets for KW Elite is I added Dakota to the smart plan to get it to make sure it would send, and it did. I was like, oh God, taught all these people to use this thing, and today was the start date. Of course, this would be the day that Command decided to go crazy. But the good thing is, and we can attest to this, Marilla, that this used to happen a lot, right? It very rarely happens anymore. But so here it is. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, right? And it just says, I hope tomorrow brings you luck. If you're longing for a St. Patrick's Day meal, swing by and pick up a corned beef brisket. And here is a slow cooker recipe for them to use today, right? So that's why the smart plan, you have to make sure you start them when it says to start them, or else it won't make sense.
I would like to know, Monica, if that was just because the command was, because it wasn't down all day, or why did it go on?
It depends on when you started it, right? So
what time? Can you fix the time?
you can't change the time. What you call it? Like right there, 10:28 p.m. That's because I sent it out at 10:28. Now I sent it out to go instantly, right? But even if I had scheduled it last night at 10:28 p.m., that's when I scheduled it to go out. So just think about, even if you're scheduling it, if you schedule it to go out at 10 o'clock in the morning, or when it's 10 o'clock in the morning, that's when the email is going to generate.
So the only way to fix that would be to unsubscribe everyone and put them back on there. Because, for example, that one, you have a recipe, and if it goes out at 6,
right, then they can't stop and pick it up. And I apologize, y'all. My internet is like freaking out on us. But nonetheless, you've got lots of designs you can make. So let us pick one. I'm going to use this one because I haven't used it yet. Short, sweet, and simple. I'm going to use the square. No, I'm going to use the big one. So you're just going to click the use button right here. Okay. No, I want this one. I'm just a sucker for the rainbow. All right. So I click the use button. The design opens up. All right. Pretty simple. This says KWDBA name, doing business as. That means you need to replace it with your own logo. So guess what? When I clicked on the logo, guess what happened? My assets, you see it up here, opened up to where my logos are. Okay. So now I can pick, they have the white one. I think that's a good call on this specific design. That's why I like to have all of the colors that I can find. And so now all I'm going to do, here it is, the white one. I'm going to click this little replace button, little recycle, see it? And boop. Now it says KW Elite. Pretty easy.
Can you do that again? I missed it.
Yep. So so you can actually see it happen. I'll go to KW1 so you can see the change. So whatever you want to replace on your design, okay, you're going to click it. See how it's highlighted in blue? Now I'm going to come over to the left to the one that I want to use. And there's a little replace button right there. And you just go click and it replaces it with the right one. You can also do like a drag and drop. But this is a very simple design. If you're using like a flyer, when I've tried to drag and drop like that before, I've dropped it into the wrong spot and then I have to undo it and redo it. And then
I had to take it completely out and redo it. So
I just hit the recycle button. That's what I call it, the recycle button. I think it's technically called the replace button, but nonetheless, super simple, right? Maybe I just really didn't like this background color. I can click on the background. There's the background color, right? At the top. See it up there? So I can click it and guess what? Template colors, that's the colors in this template. Or I can drop down library colors and guess what I get? All of my custom palettes of color. So I could go boop. I want it to be my dark teal instead of that lighter teal. And I can change it right there. So that way I don't have to find it every single time or create it every single time. I've just got my palette hanging out up there. Right? So that is why those are so useful, right?
Monica,
Go ahead.
can you remind me how to get the other logos? The zip file downloaded, but I don't know how to get it into the asset.
Once you download a zip file, I'll just show you real quick. Can you see my file on my screen? Are you on it? You're not.
Yeah, but it's not showing up on my screen for some reason. It did, and now it's gone.
So you should just be able to click on your file button. You know, the little file folder thing.
Mm-hmm.
Under your downloads. See, there's that zippered folder.
I can't find it. I guess maybe
Just hit download one more time and see if you see it, honey.
oh, I see it.
Good. And if you're on a Mac, anybody who's watching the recording, when you download a zip file, I think all you have to do is open it and then the files are like out. If you're on a Windows computer, you have to open the file and then you'll have an extract all button at the top. And then you'll click extract. And then it'll give you this little window that says select a destination and extract your file. So wherever you want to save it, like if it's on your desktop, you can pick wherever you want it to save, or if you wanted to save it under your pictures, whatever. And then you'll select the folder and then it'll suck all the files out and put them wherever you determined you wanted them to go. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good questions.
Now, Monica, is there a way, like if you don't have a certain logo in your, like my assets, and you're working on a flyer or something, could you add that while you're working on it or no?
Add it to your assets, but you could add it for that one-time use in the design. So if you were working, you're like, dang it, I don't have what I need, right? You can just click on images and you can click add and you can upload any image that you have from your computer or whatever so that you don't have to come out of here. But again, that's one of those times if I know I want it in my assets, right, that I might open another window and go to my assets and put it there so that I don't forget to do it.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been doing, and that's why I was not able to replace it, the image.
Well, you can still replace it though. Like I can click this St. Patrick's Day thing. Here's the picture.
And I was talking specifically for logo. Like I was just trying to do it, and it's not letting me replace it.
Huh. I think it's probably because it's a logo instead of an image person.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. So once we have this design done, through campaigns, we can post for free to Facebook and Twitter. We currently cannot post to Instagram if you're an Instagram user. So if you wanted to put this on Instagram, what you would do is download it. And I always like to download stuff as a PNG. That's a higher quality image. So again, I clicked download. This is where you can select what type of file you want. And for a high quality image, I like to take the PNG and you're going to download it. It's going to save it to your computer. You can go to Instagram and post it. Okay. If you're going to post it on Facebook or Twitter, I'm going to show you how to do that when we get into the campaign side of things. And you don't have to download it in that instance. Okay. But before we go there, I want to show you how to make a social design because they're amongst the easiest and there are lots of them that you can make. St. Patrick's Day, first day of spring, you know, first day of summer, 4th of July, holidays, all the things, right? There's all kinds of reasons that you can make one of these. So any questions on making a social design? You can make.
Does it have to have on there that each office is independently owned on this, in this case, or no?
Not if you're going to post it on your Facebook business page, because hopefully it already says that on your Facebook business page. somewhere, right? The
Yeah.
main thing you want is that your logo from your company is on there. You know, the rule from North Carolina Real Estate Commission and NC Realtors is that they can find out who we are within 2 clicks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're good. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. This one is like a just listed one. I love this. I was messing around with this yesterday, but so you can make all kinds of fun stuff, and you have these file folders, right? So if you wanted to have a folder for all your listing marketing, and then under your listing marketing, you're like, because we have to save our marketing, right? We know that as agents, everything that you make, you're supposed to save it. Isn't that wonderful? For 3 to 7 years. Yeah. So, you know, that's fun. But if you wanted to make a file for each one of your listings, so you always know you could go back, then you can make a file for 123 Main Street. You can make your file for 567 Maple Street. And you could just save all your stuff there, right? So that way, under your listing marketing, go ahead, Joseph.
That's saved in the database, not in the computer.
Correct. It's just saved here in your designs platform. Mhm. But you could download them if you wanted to, right? Pretty cool, right? I love designs. So it just takes a little bit of playing around in here. The next thing I want to show you guys is the print stuff. It's a little bit different than social because it's got more pieces. Okay. So I'm going to go under listing and I'm going to look at for sale because you might want to make a listing flyer. Okay. So now there's a whole lot of stuff when it comes to like the houses, right? We looked at kind of the fun social media post stuff. When it comes to houses, we have social wide, social square, social stories, door hangers, flyers, postcards, bifolds, trifolds, right? We have all kinds of stuff that we can make. So I'm just going to look at a simple flyer in letter size. Okay. So the same way that I edit this is the same way that you would edit your branded magazine, your buyer presentation, your listing presentation, any kind of flyer you're going to edit, or any kind of print advertising is editable the same way, except I will pop into a multi-page in a minute so that you guys can see how to toggle through the pages. But for right now, this is just a simple property brochure or flyer, right, that you can put into your listing, like you need to put anything in a listing right now. But eventually you're going to have to, so you should at least know how to do it. I used to make a super intricate book for all of my listings. You know,
I had a whole binder that I left at the listing.
Me too. Yes, I had very bougie binders, and they had a cover sheet, and they had all the tax data, and the takeaways were like 1-page flyer, and then the MLS sheet. Like, oh yeah, I loved making my marketing binder for my listings, but that's when they took like 3 to 6 months to sell instead of 7 seconds. But so here's this featured listing flyer. Okay. So, dang it, I forgot that address that I was using yesterday. Please hold. I'm going to pop into MLS real quick. Maybe I'll pick a new listing that's different than the ones we did yesterday. Read later. All right, my office active listings. Let's find something expensive, just because I would love to have something expensive to look at because they're pretty. Okay, let's see. Bent Tree Farm. Yes, please. This must be Blake's. Oh, maybe not. I lied. It's Royda. Thank you, Royda. I'm going to use your $1 million listing over in Bent Tree Farm. That is 4650 Cherry Hill Lane. That's what we're going to be using. I'm going to copy that. We're going to go back to designs. So watch this. This is so cool, and I love it, right? Here's this chick's picture. I am not that chick. I want my own picture. So I'm going to go to my images under my assets. These are my headshots, right? And I can say, okay, I don't want your picture. I want my picture with no background. Hold on. It's like buffering. Let me close some of this. You done with your stuff there, kiddo? Okay, it's just going to be weird for me. It's like not loading. Hold on. Give me a second.
So you got that from the listings. Is that like a flyer or what is it?
Yeah, it was just
A
a flyer.
brochure.
I just went into the MLS and found a listing because I don't have a listing, right? I mean, you guys would have a list. Obviously, if you were making a listing flyer, it would be because you had a listing. I just don't have one, so I had to go get somebody else's. Okay, let's see if this will work this time. Okay, it's being crazy. All right, it just doesn't want to let me replace this. So I'm going to delete her picture. There it is. It was just being weird, and replace it with my picture. Okay. Now, here's what I was talking about. See how this is. Let me zoom in on this so y'all can see better. See how this is like a block of text, contact details, websites, email, social media info. It's all together. I can do one thing. I can click this typewriter up here and I can like open the typewriter and type Monica Perry 3365758. I mean, yes, I can. And once I saw these blocks like this, that's when I made my text asset that was all my stuff together in a block, right? Because that way I didn't have to do that each time. I could just come in here and I think it's that one. Now I moved myself away. I could just come in here and replace it with my own stuff. Again, recycle button. So you have to make your own stuff so you know which one it is in order to be able to replace it like that. Right. So that's what I did. Download my app. I have my app code in here somewhere here. Where did I put it? There. Replace. So that way I don't have to remember my app code or type it. I just have to replace it in the image, right, in the flyer. Click on the DBA logo. If this thing would stop being weird.
Yeah, mine is not replacing my image. It just puts it like use it as a background, which is weird.
Yeah, it's being weird, but nonetheless, I don't want to do that. Maybe this isn't a featured listing. Maybe this is just listed, but you really liked the way this looked. Right. So you wanted this one because it looked nice. So you could go, okay, this says featured listing. I'm going to click the typewriter and change it to just, and I'm going to click save changes. And then I'm going to click listing and click the typewriter. And I'm going to say listed. So then I could say just listed. So like that. Now, here's the fun part. KWLS. Okay. That's the Keller Williams listing system. If it's your listing, it's a Keller Williams listing, right? So you can go to KWLS and you can search by the listing address, the MLS number, etc. Easiest is the address or the MLS number. And guess what? There's 4650 Cherry Hill Lane, which is my listing, right? My listing that I'm making this flyer for. So I'm going to click select. This is the listing that I want to use. So now I have all of this listings information, including the pictures, including all the listing details here, right? So I can say, okay, click this picture and I'm going to replace it with this picture or this picture. You know, you can just keep looking until you find the one that I like that. Like the way that looks up there at the top. So now I can say, okay, keep scrolling. My zoom bar is in my way as usual. I'm going to click the bedroom. I want to look at the pool. I'm going to click this. I want to look at the pool again because I love a pool and I'm all excited that it's almost pool season. And I'm going to click this image and I want to use the bedroom, right? Whatever your little heart desires that you have from your listing. That's cute. Maybe I'll use that. Yes. Okay. So now I've replaced all the images with the images I want. All that looks good. This is my picture. This is where my name needs to be. So I'm going to click on replace with my own name, like so. If you have this under KWLS, which is where we're still hanging out, I think it's because I have this zoomed in so far, it's like being wonky. But this is, right, the property description. Under my listing details, I have the property description right here. So I can go boop, and I can replace that property description like so. I can stretch it out. Probably need to make it a little bit shorter, right? Because it's super long and it won't fit. There you go. I can move these around. This says contact me for more details. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But like I said, this just takes a little finagling and getting used to, but once you've done it, you get used to coming in here and kind of moving stuff around the way that you need to. And then you can download it as a PDF for printing. I always like to include the bleed. I always like to include the bleed, and I like to download a CMYK. So it depends on your computer. But when you do that, for my computer, it makes the graphics pop a little bit better when I save it that way and print it. We can also order, for now, 1-page prints out of here, professionally printed, which is not good in today's market because the listings don't stay on long enough for you to wait for the prints to get here. But if you knew that you were doing it like ahead of time, right? I think it takes like 3 to 4 business days for the prints to get here. So if you were like pre-listing and getting everything ready ahead of time, then sure. If you wanted to order professional prints, then you could. And you would have
CMYK, does that matter for Mac or that's just for you?
I don't
Like,
know.
you don't know.
I could try it with Tyson's Mac, but he has it at school right now, so I can look at it later and find out. Cool deal. So simple flyers, just wanted to make sure you guys saw how those worked. And I feel like that's a newer design that I haven't ever done before. And I think something's wrong with the logo on there. It doesn't want to let me delete it. But it also could be the fact that my internet's being terrible today. So I'm going to go back to templates again. And I want to go to show you a multi-page design, because I want you guys to see how to do a multi-page design. Okay. So this is the newest quarterly magazine. I'm going to click use. And this is the last thing I have time to show. Well, I got to show you one more thing and then we have to take our break because we have to get into campaigns. I need a full hour for that. Okay, so here's your magazine. In the lower right corner, here's the button that says pages. Click it. Now you see all the pages. Okay, so this is cover option 1. This is cover option 2. This is cover option 3. Right? So you don't keep them all, you just use the one that you like. So if I like the very first one, then I can click these 3 dots right here. and say, I don't want this page. I don't want this page. I'm going to delete it because I'm going to be using this page as my cover, right? So here's a note from you. Just make sure when you're doing this, remember, this is for a whole quarter. So it's okay that it takes you a little bit of time because people like that one-to-one curated experience, right? Instead of just generic stuff. So note from agent or team, like you need to go through and put your name in there. You need to change out your DBA logo, right? The verbiage is there for you, but this says like insert your photo or company logo, insert your mailing address. So you need to look at the pages that you're going to include and make sure that you do the edits, and just keep in mind that you only have to do it once for 3 months, right? So take a little bit of time, go through and do it.
Where do I find it? I'm sorry.
It is under lead generation.
Okay.
And it's at the very bottom. It says branded magazine, branded zine.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. But like this next page, quarter in review. If you haven't been in real estate for a quarter, you don't have a quarter in review. So you can either choose to delete this page, or you could send your MCA an email and say, hey, do you have first quarter numbers for our office? Right? You're part of our family. So you can use our office's statistics. Right? So just put the office's statistics in here. Okay. This one says this is like your stuff, and this one says company. Or I'm sorry, this one's a neighborhood snapshot. So you can just do the neighborhood and the company, right? So, but again, if you don't want to use it, just delete that page. Here's the articles. Top interior design trends. I know this color is like freaking everywhere. If you guys haven't seen this color, it is like everywhere right now, and I love it. I'm living for it. It's beautiful. But it's got, it's got nice articles. There's 3 of them. Some people choose to break this down and use 1 article each month. Some people do the whole magazine and they send it out. You get the point. It's got tons of pages. Do you need every page? No. So just go through and add what you want to add, delete what you don't want to have in there. If you have some client success stories, AKA testimonials, pop them in there, right? There's your next article. There's a thing that says download my app, right? So you can just keep the pages you want, discard the pages you don't want. You can download it as a PDF and send it to the printer if you want to have it printed up like a magazine, right? You can definitely do that, but I'm going to show you something else you can do because I don't like killing trees personally. So look at this little button. It says share. We're going to pretend I made all my edits, right? For time's sake, I'm going to click share. Okay. I don't want to just share the design because that, just so you know, the verbiage in this system, the design is the page, this one page. I want to share the project, which is the whole thing. Okay. And this, anyone with a link can view. It's Google, right? It's the same thing when you're sharing from a Google Drive. So you want to make sure that anyone with the link can view, not just anyone from KW, and not just that it's private. Anyone can view. Okay. You're going to copy this code. Okay. Remember, I showed you that there were some branded magazine, like social graphics that you could make. It wasn't the actual magazine. It was like a graphic that said, check out my quarterly magazine. You can get one of those graphics. You can then proceed to post it on Facebook and say, check out my quarterly magazine. And you can use the little link that we just used. And they get to go to this. And it is a digital version of your magazine. And they can click and they can read it. They can see all the pretty stuff and all the pretty articles, just like so. And one cool thing that I do know is coming up, I don't have a timeline on it, but I love those flipping magazines where it like whoosh, like you see the pages flipping online, they're working to find a partner that will integrate that into here so it looks like the page flip. But for now, this is still fine. Right?
This is pretty cool.
For now, it's still totally cool. But I can't wait to have this. And it even makes a little noise. You know what I'm talking about. I love that. But yeah, so you can do that. Quarterly magazine. Super sweet. And
Can you email it?
I mean, it's just a link.
Oh, it's just, okay, yeah.
I mean, you could download it as a PDF and send it that way, right? Or you could use one of the email designs, right? One thing I have done is saved like the first page, the cover page of it before, and inserted that page into the email design. And I guess I do need to show y'all email designs real quick, but I gotta hurry. So in order to get into the email platform, you can get to print this way, you can get to the like social media stuff this way, but in order to get to the email designs, you have to go back a step. You have to be back in Command, just so you know. So I need it to take me back to Command. And bear in mind, you can get to email designs when you're sending them. Like you can have the option to edit them on site, but if you're planning ahead and doing some email designs, you can get there also through designs. Remember, everything works together, right? So bear that in mind. But I'm going to click create design and I'm going to choose email this time. You're going to see everything looks a little bit different. Okay. So now I have all these KW templates, newsletters, classic newsletter, approachable newsletter. A lot of these are just simple emails that are just done. They're just done for you, right? Like classic healthy home. Okay. If I click next on classic healthy home, it's already made. There's an image. Want to make sure your home is always a breath of fresh air. Below are some helpful tips for keeping your living space and your lungs healthier. Change your filters. There's a reason air purifiers are so popular. It's done. Anything that's got these little asterisks down here at asterisks, I think I said that correctly. Down here at the bottom should get filled in for you. So if you go options preview, my logo dropped in, and down at the bottom, there's my picture, there's my license number, yada, yada, yada. The link to download my app, it's all built in there for me. Right? So email designs are a little bit different. You see all the stuff on the right. You can pull in text, you can pull in an image, you can add a button, right? So I'm going to step back one and show you how you could make one that is for your magazine. Let me open this magazine back up real quick. Obviously, you would have edited the magazine all the way through, which I didn't do, but I'm going to download as a PNG, and I'm just going to take the first page, which is the cover, and I'm going to download it to my computer. It says it's preparing up here at the top, so you know that's what it looks like when it's okay. So now I have it. I'm going to go back a step. So I just saved the cover of the magazine as a picture. Spinny, spin, spin. I'm going to call Time Warner Cable today and no reason that you should pay this much for internet and it not work correctly. It's driving me insane.
I have the same complaint.
Well, I got fiber when they first laid it here in Old Sherwood Forest, like literally right when they put it in, and they drilled holes in my bricks and brought it in from the side of the house, and it was worse. And everyone's
really?
like, "Oh, fiber, fiber, fiber." It was terrible. It was really bad. I was like, "No, thank you. I can't with that." So I took back Spectrum, and like usually it's super fast, but it's always not fast when I need it to be fast. You know what I mean?
You running Wi-Fi?
Yeah. And I mean, I've got like a whole mesh system put throughout the house because it's an old house, it's long. But I mean, I installed a mesh system so it would go faster. But nonetheless, all right, I'm going to into email. I'm going to click continue.
Yeah.
I downloaded this cover page. I like Classic Newsletter A, which is somewhere, Classic Newsletter A, because it's nice and simple. I'm going to click next. Headline copy. Remember, this is going to fill in. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click the pin. I'm going to say, check out my magazine. Right? I'm going to click done. Check out my magazine. I'm going to type something nice and happy. Check out my magazine, blah, 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 blah. Right? I don't want this little extra thing here. I'm going to grab the image and slide it over, kind of like when we were making websites the other day, and let it go. And now I need to add an image, and I just downloaded that cover page. So I'm going to put it here, dragged it up from the bottom. I'm going to highlight it and save it. And now you see the cover of my magazine, right? Now I can take this button and I can hit the pin and I can say, read it here, like so. Oh, no special characters. Read it here. Link to web address. We already have it saved on my clipboard. So this is that web address for that digital version of the magazine. Okay, I'm gonna click done. So now here's my new magazine. Da 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 da. Hope you're doing well. Blah 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 blah. All the happy things you're going to say to your people. They're going to get to see a cover of the magazine and then click read it here, and it's going to open up that digital copy. So if you wanted to email it for it to look pretty, there's
That is awesome.
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's gonna
Mon.
take
Awesome. All right, let's take a 5-minute break and we're going to come back and we're going to get into campaign. We're going to move fast. Don't forget we're recording. All right. See you guys in a minute.
go back and watch this.
All right, part 2. Let's go into campaigns. Campaigns is all things getting out our message. So we have a little megaphone for that. That's where we're headed. Okay, so within campaigns, just like with designs, we got a lot of stuff that we can do in here. Free social media posts. Just remember that you have to have a Facebook business page in order to do social media posting. We can do direct mail. That's postcards. We didn't really look at making a postcard. Done exactly the same way as making a flyer, right? It's one of the print pieces. So you can design your own custom postcards, or the direct mail portion of campaigns has some pre-installed templates in there as well. You have email campaigns. So there are 2 ways that you can send out those designed emails like the one we just looked at. One is through campaigns and emails. The other is through smart plan emails, which we looked at smart plans on Monday. So you can add a designed email into a smart plan as well. Remember, everything works together. Okay. We can also do paid ads. So paid ads is where you can incorporate Instagram. So you can do paid ads on Facebook, you can do paid ads on Instagram, you can do paid ads on Twitter. Okay. So it's a big platform. We're going to go through it kind of quickly. Just remember, this is recorded so we can look back at it later. Okay. And I also teach specifically on this stuff. So I'm going to say paid ads for last because I'm pretty sure that it is next week. We get into my tech calendar. Next week? Yes. Next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m., same Zoom. We're going to do Facebook ads, only the paid ones. So if we run out of time on Facebook ads today, we'll be okay because we have another class coming up. Okay. So we're on the home page of campaigns. These quick posts are the easiest things for people that are like, I have no idea where to even get started with posting. Those settings we looked at on Monday, that's where you need to make sure that your business Facebook page is connected. Okay, so once you have that done, I like the way this house looks on top of money. So I'm just going to grab this one. Pop quiz. Do you know how much the average home is going for in your neighborhood? If you don't, that's what I'm here for, right? Sounds good to me. I can hover over it. I can look at it. It's already made for me. That's why it's called a quick post. And to hit this little forward arrow, boom. Let it do its loading thing. Our preview is on the right-hand side, okay? And the image is already done and the text is already done. If I'm like, I don't really like this text, I can even hit shuffle and pick something else. Okay, shuffle again, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's already pre-written for you. Okay, so I can say, okay, I like this one. Slide through. If your logo is not there, you can upload it. You can choose to include your ownership statement, which says each office is independently owned and operated, or you can choose not to include it. In the preview over here, I know it's hard to see, but my logo is here on the right. If I include my ownership statement, it shows up on the left. It's hard to see on top of that money, but it says it over here. And I can also reposition my logo to the other side of the screen, which will flip the two. Okay. I can choose to schedule the post to go out at a different date and time, or I can choose to publish it immediately by clicking here. For free social posts, if you have more than one business page like I do, you can see them all listed here, okay? Then I can post it to all of them if I want. Most people only have one page, but if you have multiple, you can post to multiple, okay? You cannot do that with a paid ad, which you'll see in a little bit. I could also choose to post this on Twitter because I do have Twitter connected. With Twitter, you just have to remember the character limitations. So if I hit Twitter, this one does fall within the 280 character limit that Twitter has. So I can post it on both Facebook and Twitter if I want to. Some of them are longer and they are too long to post on Twitter. Okay, and then I would publish the post. So since we chose to speak on this for a minute, it seems like it would take a long time, but it really doesn't. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually post one so you can see how fast it is. Okay, so bad joke alert. What's worse than hidden fees? Practically nothing, whether you're refinancing, buying a home, blah, 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 blah. Looks good to me. Forward. Publish, 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 done, right? That's all it really takes to publish one of these. You can choose to edit it if you want to, but you can also just publish it like I just did. Gone, right? So that's how easy the quick posts are. Now you can see a record of it, okay? I teach a class about posting out your social media for the whole month. I haven't taught that in a while and it's not on the calendar for April. So maybe I'll do it again in like May. The summer specifically is a great time to kind of schedule stuff out. So are the holidays because we get busy, we go on vacations, we take breaks for Christmas, da, 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 da. So publishing your social media for a month out is really great because it's all of the content stuff. It's not, I just listed this, I just sold this, I'm having an open house. That stuff happens in real time, right? Content can be scheduled out ahead of time. Happy St. Patrick's Day could have been scheduled last month, right? You could have scheduled it to go out today, last month, okay? So up here at the top, you have a calendar. And I personally recommend, we all have our own businesses, we're independent contractors, you can do whatever you want. If it were me selling houses, I would make sure that I had at least 3 things scheduled to go out each week. Scheduled, so I don't have to think about it anymore. One of those times where you turn on your favorite music, grab your favorite beverage, schedule yourself out for a month so you don't have to go, I was supposed to post something on Facebook today. It's already done.
Monica, do these designs, do they change often or?
Yeah, I mean, we get new ones every once in a while, but you can always create your own content too, right? you can definitely create your own content. So I'm going to show you guys this one. This is a neighborhood video. Again, we're tied into those next door neighborhoods. So I know that's not everybody's favorite thing in the world, but they're still super cool. A lot of people have been like, yeah, but I know that that's not right. There's 17 houses for sale in that neighborhood, not 14. I love y'all, and nobody cares. Zillow is never correct. The sole purpose of these neighborhood videos is to grab people's attention and make them stop scrolling. You have to think about the mindset of a person on Facebook. What are you doing? You're scrolling through, you're looking at, what are my neighbors doing? What are my friends doing? What's my brother doing? You know, you're scrolling. So your goal is to stop somebody from scrolling, right? So I'm going to pick Buena Vista, and yes, it is Buena Vista, not Buena Vista, at least not when you're in Winston-Salem. I'm going to search for Buena Vista, and there it is right here. I'm going to click it, little green check mark right there. I'm going to click next. Okay. If you're super detail oriented and you want to go into the MLS and you want to double check all these numbers, you can, because you can edit them, right? You can edit it out. Look at that. It really was 14. Oh, look at that. Average days on market is there. Those neighborhood features that we saw on websites yesterday, right? Coffee lovers, handmade culture, animal advocates, all that stuff. It shows up here. Your information shows up here. Your market center's information shows up here, right? I'm going to click next, and I'm going to let you guys take a look at this video.
Monica, can we connect our Google, like, so we can post to our Google account this as well? No.
Not yet. Yay, right? Super cute, catches people's attention. Same thing, you save video and post, and it'll post it to your website or to your Facebook page, or you can schedule it to post later. So I had an agent one time say, I've been posting these quick posts every day for 4 weeks and I haven't gotten a single lead from it. Okay, so let's talk about what posting socially does. It builds your brand, right? It's not necessarily going to generate you a lead just from doing this. What have we been talking about? What's the underlying theme of the whole week? You have to stay in front of people all the time through all different venues. You have to call them. You have to talk to them in person. They have to see you on social media. They have to see you posting things, right? It's a way of life. It's not, you get to do it for a little bit and then stop. Your number one job in real estate or any business is lead generation, because you can be the best of the best of the best at what you do. But if you don't have clients to do it for, none of it matters, right? So just think about this as this is just what you do now. You post stuff on social media with frequency, with consistency, right? So no, you might not get a physical lead from it, but you're in the minds of people, right? So that's what it's all about. So you can come up with all kinds of stuff. Everybody has their own shtick. I know an agent that does Motivational Monday, and they post either a video, they post a quote, they post something that motivates them. It doesn't have to be real estate related, right? And then on Wednesday, they post a hump day recipe. Okay. Because it's Wednesday. It's like, I've made it to the peak. Now gonna make it down the rest of the hill, right? So simple recipes that you can make at home on one pan or whatever. So they post something about a recipe on Wednesday, and then they have Funny Friday where they post something funny. And then in the month of October, Funny Friday turns into Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday. I think that's what it's called. And they post something scary, right? Something localized, local haunt, whatever, right? For the month of October, just to change it up a little bit. Now that's just their regularly scheduled content. That doesn't mean they don't say, I just listed this home. I just sold this home. I just helped my buyer buy this home. I have an open house this coming Sunday. Join me for my client event, right? They still do all those things too, but their scheduled content is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And they scheduled at the beginning of the month, every month, like clockwork. So it never stops going out. Cool. I mean, on this, you could schedule out further than that. You could sit down this weekend and schedule out your holiday post through the end of 2022, right? I can just keep going. April, May, June, July, August, September, right? I could go, okay. I missed there. So this was probably going to be Thanksgiving this year, I would think. Don't post on the day because nobody's looking at it. They're having turkey and watching football. But Monday, I could post Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving on Thursday, right? All the way out until November or even further, right? So you can schedule this stuff out so that you don't have to think about it later. One thing that people don't realize is time can just be as valuable as money, right? Especially if you're newer in the business or if the market's down a little bit, that's when you have time over money. So use your time at that point to make your life easier down the road, right? When you're newer, go ahead and get your buyer consultation ready. Go ahead and get your listing presentation ready. Even if you don't have a buyer, even if you don't have a listing, get your forms read, understand what they mean, understand what they say, get your social media content scheduled while you have time over money. Because eventually you're going to have money over time and it's going to make more sense for you to pay someone else to do it, right? But we lead with revenue. We don't start off just throwing money at stuff. Use your own resources and your own time when you're starting off. Cool? So free social media posting, super cool, super easy. You can come in here, you can schedule it out. You can use these quick posts or you can click create campaign, right? You can do a social post. You can say Happy St. Patrick's Day. I love giveaways, right? Post a picture of your St. Patrick's Day meal and I will randomly choose somebody to win a gift card to that Irish pub that's up the street from me. Why can't I think of the name of it? Carlisle's, right? I have a gift card to Carlisle's. Post a picture of your St. Patrick's Day feast with your family, and I will pick somebody at random to win this card. That puts out a reason for people to engage with your post, right? The more engagement you get, the more the Facebook algorithm picks up your content, the more people it pushes it in front of because you're getting more engagement. And then it grows it again, and then it grows it again, right? So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. But I'm just going to leave this simple Happy St. Patrick's Day. And what did we make earlier? We made a design. So I can browse my designs library. There's my post, or my picture rather. And sometimes the first time that you do it, it says your design wasn't ready. You just have to click it again. There it actually is. Right now it's a square. That's not going to work for me. I need the wide. Okay. I already had my logo on the picture, so I don't need this logo. So I can just hit the X. Now it's gone. And now I can publish it. I can publish it to all of them. I can publish it to Twitter and click publish and click publish, and off it goes. So you can create whatever content you want to create this way, right? If it's a new listing, make it in designs, post it through here. And a lot of people are like, well, why wouldn't I just download it and go directly to Facebook to post it there? You can do that, right? But the other thing that you have to remember is that when you're doing it through command, what do I have? Metrics. It's going to show how many people liked it, how many people commented on it, how many people shared it, right? So eventually that's going to be super valuable information. Why? Because you're going to get to see what people engage with more and post more of that, right? So if you can judge where you're getting the biggest return on your investment, whether it's through the spending of money or through the spending of your time posting, if you see what people like better, then you can do more of that, right? You can post stuff about Keller Mortgage. You can post stuff about the Keller Williams School of Real Estate. You can post stuff about your own personal life, right? You can post your holiday stuff. You can post your listing stuff and have a record of all that content and the metrics that came back from that post. Cool? Questions on social posting? Everybody feel good? Cool. Direct mail. Mine are all just drafts. I've never actually sent one because I'm not actually selling houses. But you can see if you were sending them, you would have a list of all of them. Okay. You have the ability to put one of those QR codes on your postcard so that people can scan it to get more information. And that's what would generate leads in this column. Okay. So to do one of these, you're going to click create campaign, and this time you're going to pick direct mail. Now, do I recommend spending your time doing this? Personally, I don't. Right? Social media is the way of the world now, but a lot of people love doing postcards. So I'm going to show you guys how to do them. So 123 Main Street. We listed it. We want to do a postcard for it. Again, you could have made a customized postcard in designs and upload it here. But if it's just for a listing, the super easiest thing is to use the pre-installed template. So I've got my name, I've got my purpose, I'm advertising this listing. I'm going to click create campaign. It's going to take it a second. It's going to want me to pick a listing because I said I was advertising a listing, right? So right now it's on only my listings and I don't have any. So we're going to do that Bentry. I don't remember the number. Let me see if I can see it. Without the number, I might not see it. Let me see if I can find it by Royda's name. Obviously, you would have your own listing, y'all. I don't have one, so I'm borrowing. See Royda's name. There it is. Oh, it was Cherry Hill. It wasn't Bentry. There we go. So I've got my listing. I picked it. Okay. Now I'm going to click on content. I'm looking for green check marks all the way down. You're going to see that trend with the ones that cost money. Check marks. Content. Can select my template. 4x6. Default, large modern, large contemporary. Shows you the sizes over here. Maybe I want to do a 6x9. It's got my listing address here. It's got my listing price, my listing status, just listed, coming soon, whichever one it is. It's got my number of bedrooms, my number of bathrooms. It's got my listing description right there. Okay. So now we're going to get to the listing image. you're going to see, because of Triad MLS, this is not the fault of KW, this is the fault of Triad MLS. The syndication of their images is not of great quality. So that's why it's got those exclamation points. It's going to tell you that this is not as high a resolution photo as you really should be using, right? So can you use it? Yes. If it's your own listing, you probably have the photographer's picture saved on your computer already. So you would just upload the higher quality image, right? I just don't have a listing photo on my computer, but I've picked my photo. Here's my preview again on the right. Okay, so I picked my photo. My stuff looks good. I'm going to click save. It's going to warn me that I'm using a low resolution image. It's fine for the sample. Market center. There's my logo. There's my market center. Da 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 da. I need to pick the state. For some reason, it doesn't flow in. And the zip. It is not 93, it is 03. And I've got to verify the address of my market center. I've got checks all the way down. I've got my image over here. I can look at the back. It's got the little description. It's got the price, bedrooms, all that kind of stuff right there. It's got my logo. I can turn on the tracking. Okay. And then I need to assign it a landing page. We looked at building landing pages yesterday, remember? So you can make that listing specific landing page. Okay. And pick that listing specific landing page that we made yesterday. You can search for it. March BootCamp. I'm just going to grab that one. But you would build it its own landing page. Obviously, you would know what it is, right? And you would put that QR code there for tracking purposes if you wanted to track it. Okay. And then if the person scanned it, the QR code showed up here. They scanned it to go to its web page and looked around, it would capture those leads. Right? Pretty sweet. And then you would hit, get rid of this, configure targeting. Yes, you're sure you want to create the campaign. It's going to take it a second to connect to real mailers, which is the people that do this. Okay. So there's the pinpoint. That's the address of my property. It's targeting obviously in a circle around it. Okay. And how many homes do I want to hit? It's defaulting to 200. You can adjust that. I can also send a copy to myself, and I always recommend that you do that. And you see it would cost $164.82. It would have been a little bit less if I'd used the smaller postcard. I used the 6x9. The 4x6 would have been a little bit less. So then you would just enter your credit card information and out the cards would go within 3 business days, right?
You said,
go ahead.
You sent it yourself to test it to make sure it's working, or?
I do. I used to do postcards, and I always send a copy to myself. So this is a great way to do it. It's a great way to get exposure if you want to do postcards, because you can do coming soon, just listed, under contract, just sold. That's 4, right? When you're going to do print marketing in the way of direct mail, you've got to hit that neighborhood over and over and over and over, right? It can't just be one and done on a postcard. So if you want to do postcards, this is one way you can do it. Another way you can do it, Fairway Independent Mortgage, they're in Winston-Salem. I think they have offices in other places. And I think that Zana, who's their marketing person, handles Winston-Salem and Greensboro, Chapel Hill. If you're watching this recording, I'm not sure about Chapel Hill, but they do postcards for you and they split the cost with you. So they'll do just listed, just sold, under contract. I think they have like a 12-month recipe card. I think they have a clock forward, clock back reminder postcard. They split the cost with you. So instead of this being $164.82 to send 200 postcards, it would be half of that. Plus they do all the work. So can't get mad at that. They show you a preview, dear lender gets put on the postcard with you. And that's why they do that for you. So if that's something you're interested in doing, it does exist. I'm sure there's other lenders that do that. It's not just Fairway. That just happens to be the folks that I used to work with. Okay. So direct mail, that's how that works. Okay. Email campaigns. We already created an email, so we saw what that looked like. If we wanted to send said email through the campaign portal, we would be able to track it here in emails. I'm going to see if this is still down. Oh, it's working again. Good. I was so concerned this morning. I was like, please don't let me find something that's down that I'm looking at today. So I clicked on one of my email campaigns. We get 5,000 free emails a month, which is really good, right? So this one right here, I sent it to 10 people, 5 people opened it, 2 people clicked on it. Right, this is just a test. Obviously, you guys will probably send it to more people than that, but just so you guys can see it, then I can open this up. This is a newer feature, this reporting. So you can see on the left how many were sent, how many got delivered, how many got opened. And if I click on who opened it, then I get to see who opened it, right? I can add tags from here. So maybe Dakota never opened my emails from the last 10 I've sent. Maybe I want to come in here and add a tag that says, don't email this person or whatever, right? I can even pop out his contact details. It's going to open a new window and take me to his contact. Maybe I had the email wrong. Maybe it bounced, right? Then I can adjust that there. So the email campaigns is pretty cool because you get some feedback on who's opening those and that kind of fun stuff. So let's send one. We're going to click create campaign again in the upper right corner. So when you click on the tab of the thing, social post, direct mail, emails, it's a list of what you've already done. To create, you're always going to click the create campaign button in the upper right. And we're going to do an email this time. We're going to give it a name. So maybe it's, you know, my monthly newsletter. Or quarterly or whatever, right? And it's brand awareness. And we're going to create campaign. Okay. So now my design is going to show up on the right. I'm working on the left. Okay. It's got a general information button. What email address is it going to reply to? Mine. Right? If you see not your email showing up there, we need to fix it. But recipient list, okay? So you have to create a list of recipients in order to be able to use this. The create list button is right here. Okay, so if you haven't created a list of your contacts, and that's where tags come into play, because I have, right, over 1,400 contacts. Do you want to go through 1,400 people and individually decide who's getting emails? I know I don't. So as I'm adding contacts, if I'm going to be emailing them, maybe I want to create a tag that says email, like add them to my monthly emails or whatever, so that when I come here, I can just pick the tag that I'm wanting to sort by. I'm going to stick with my generic family tag because it's easier to show you guys. I'll get down there to family, right? So there's a example. So that's people I have tagged with a specific tag, and I could select them all and add them to the list, right? So I don't have to sort through all 1,400, but I already have a list. So I'm going to just pick my family list. Okay. To give my email a title. Check out my magazine. Boom. Morella already knows this. I like putting logo emojis in here. So I can right click on this Windows computer. I can't speak to the Mac. I can right click and pick emoji. And then I can pick some kind of emoji that I want to pop in there. I'm just going to pick the house for time's sake. I like having emojis in email titles because I think that they stand out in people's inbox better, personally. Okay. So now I'm going to select my design. These are my templates. Remember, I told you you can do the editing right on site. So if I hadn't gone into designs and made the email that I wanted, I could go into the KWRI templates and pick from all those same templates that we had. There's 72 of them. And like I said, there are some that are just done, right? Like the tax days approaching, healthy home, low budget projects, mortgage modification, protect your credit, sell ready, right? There's some ready-made ones, and there are also like listing based ones. If you want to send out a listing via email, happy spring, happy holidays, happy new year, happy Valentine's, right? There's a lot of templates in here. Just keep sliding down. Got work with me buyer and work with me seller. These are really nice emails. We can send one for a home anniversary, birthday, and promoting our app, right? So you can see some just listed, just sold, open houses, all that kind of fun stuff. But if you had already created your email like we did, then I could just pick the one that I had made. Right, there was one of my magazine ones. Was just dropping stuff in here to show somebody how to do something, but I would pick it. I would click save and exit. Let's see my email preview on the right. And I'm like, cool, cool, all looks good. And I would send it off. Would go out to that list of people. Okay. Pretty good. Good. All right. So I'm not actually going to send that because that's not a real email. Okay, cool.
Monica, you can't, this is not, I mean, obviously this is different than smart plans. So you cannot check who opened, in smart plans, you have to go to reports actually for that.
You have to go to reports. Yeah,
Okay.
Correct. In reports, which we're going to look at tomorrow, you can see who opened your smart plan emails, who opened your other emails, which are like those offer comparison emails, or the ones that we looked at, the client update emails that say, hey, we're checking things off the list for your listing at 123 Main Street. We did da 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 da. That's considered an other email, and you can see who opened up your campaign emails from there as well. And
So why would you choose, like, when would you choose, like, instead of creating a smart plan, doing a campaign email?
It's just up to you which way you want to send them.
Recommendations?
I'll tell you what I do like about campaign emails. I would use them more for one-off things, right? My magazine. What I don't like about campaign emails is that you can only send, I think, to 200 people a day. So if I wanted to send an email to 500 people, it's going to break it in half. So if it was like holiday specific, like our St. Patrick's email that went out yesterday that needed to go out yesterday, if you did it through here, it would have gotten broken up into two different days of sending.
So it's only 500 emails. I
think you get 5,000 a month, but I think it will only send out 200 a day.
Oh, 200 in campaigns.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I like smart plans for like the holiday emails that we did, because I can drag them out. You know, this one's going to go out this day, this day, this day, this day, this day. And I can do 5 designs in one campaign, in one smart plan. For this, it's just one email.
So you would do like that magazine, you would do the campaign versus the smart plan.
I might. Yeah, I would probably do it that way. Anything that's not got to be date specific like that, so that if I did send it to all 1,400 people in my database, it would be okay that it got split into 7 days instead of 1 day. Right. And this has gotten the update for the reporting. Eventually, we're going to get more and more and more updates. Like some of the stuff that, you know, I know that they're working on, that's not going to be instant, but that they're working on it and it's coming is just, it's crazy. I mean, that's the cool thing about us owning this platform, is we can just make it better and better and better. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool deal. So paid ads. Paid ads are really simple to run, but the most important thing about paid ads is that you have a smart plan in place before you ever even think about running the paid ad in the first place. That is the main thing. The fortune is in the follow-up. Facebook leads are not the same as paying for a lead from something that rhymes with pillow. If somebody goes to that website, they are specifically going there to look at a house, right? You have a higher chance of converting that lead, but guess what? They cost a whole heck of a lot of money if you don't convert them, right? The cool thing about leads here, and I've only run one ad for Keller Williams School of Real Estate, but look at that, $1.39 per lead. And that's the same if you run an ad for a listing, right? It's usually around between $1 and $2 a lead. Go ask how much it is per lead for something that rhymes with pillow. It's not $1. I can tell you that much, right? Now, the conversion rate on these is about 50 to 1, right? For every 50 leads that comes in. And when we look at reports tomorrow, and I'll just go onto my home screen just really quickly. I'm going to come out of here because I want to show you something. It looks scary when you see your goals. Obviously, my goals are not real goals, but when you see my goal is to make $125,000 in gross commission, how many leads is that going to take me? 21,588.
Where do you put your goals?
We're gonna put them in tomorrow.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's in the reporting section. But I just wanted you guys to see this because when I talk about a conversion rate of 50 to 1, this is why this number is so high, right? Remember, we talked about the difference on Monday between leads and contacts. Leads is step 1, contacts is step 2. Contact, it becomes a contact when you start interacting with each other. A lead just means you've got that person's information, probably one piece of it, whether it's an email or a phone number, right? You have it, but it's not, you haven't talked to them yet. That's why you have to get so many leads in order to convert to make this much gross commission income, right? So when you're looking at 50 to 1, remember also we were talking about the millionaire real estate agent. It says you have to be marketing based, prospecting enhanced, prospecting 1 to 1, talking to my sphere of influence, talking to the people I know. Marketing is scalable. It's wide, right? So we have to do a combination of the two. You lean a little bit heavier towards prospecting when you first get started in real estate. And eventually you have to convert yourself into marketing because in order to get enough leads, obviously to just make $125,000, think about how many leads it would take for you to become a millionaire real estate agent that grosses $1 million in a year. A whole lot of leads because they don't always convert, right? But the old adage is there is no bad lead. They just might not be a now lead. So if somebody's scrolling on Facebook, you got to think about their mindset. They're looking at pictures of people's dogs and then they see a beautiful house and they click on it and you capture their data. Maybe they really are interested in buying a house that looks like that, but maybe they can't do it now, right? So you put them on a smart plan that's super intense at first. My specific Facebook smart plan, one of the last steps sends you a task that says, go into this person's contact card and add the neighborhood for whatever ad you ran. And then the last step, it automatically puts them on the monthly neighborhood nurture, but you have to do that task of going in and adding the neighborhood first. So that way, forever and ever, they're going to get an email from you once a month. So maybe they're not ready to buy that house today, but maybe next year in March, they worked on their credit because they saw your listing and they were like, damn, I want to buy a house like that one day. I'm going to work hard this year and save my money and fix my credit and do all this. And in that year time frame, you never stopped reaching out to them to offer to help them. So come next March, they're going to call you. Right? So they weren't a now lead, but it doesn't mean that they were a bad lead. Okay? So just keep that in mind. The most important thing that you do is get a smart plan together. And I will quickly run through making the paid ad. It's not very difficult. You're going to pick social ad paid after you click create. The one that gets you the most leads for the least amount of money is always advertising the listing. Always, always. Doesn't mean you can't do other ones, right? And we spent a lot of time in designs today talking, but remember yesterday we looked at websites and I said you could do luxury listings reduced in the past 7 days in Winston-Salem, houses in Winston-Salem with a pool, get ready for summer, right? There's all kinds of different stuff that you can run ads for, and advertising a listing always gets you the most leads. So again, you can run your paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. From what I've heard, you get more leads from Facebook, you get more impressions on Instagram. So Instagram is really good for building your brand recognition.
How do you connect your Instagram? I was trying to do that, but it's not showing up.
Because Facebook is connected. If you go to run a paid ad on Instagram and create the campaign, at that point is when it's going to kind of link the two together. There's not like a connection. There's not a connection in the back in the settings like there is for Facebook. You have to actually get in here to run an ad. And when you create it, it's going to ask you to connect to allow the connection to Instagram.
Okay.
And eventually we'll be able to socially post to Instagram too, like we do to Facebook. It's just not, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to stick with Facebook. I'm going to click create campaign. Oh, I have to select a goal. I'm advertising a listing. I'm going to click create campaign. It's going to look very much like the postcards. You're going to see a preview on the right. Since I said I was advertising the listing, it's telling me to pick it, right? Obviously, if you had your own listing, you would use your own listing. If you don't have your own listing, ask. There are a lot of people that will, I know Ashley Way's team in Winston-Salem. She's like, heck yeah, advertise my listings. I mean, they want to get it sold anyway, right? So, all right, so there's my listing. I picked it out. My preview is going to be over here. Again, it brought in my stuff from my listing. It's got the picture. Main copy. You got to remember with Facebook ads, we want it super short. You want to give them a snack, not the whole meal. You want them to have a reason to click on it, right? So don't be like, hey, this just got reduced $50,000. Recently reduced luxury home in Winston-Salem. Can't wait for you to find out more, right? So give them a snack, not the whole meal. Luxury living. Finest. Whatever. Something sweet and simple. Oh, see, it's only 25 characters. So I'm just going to say luxury living. Description, try this. You could be coming home to this. Why do you think they say to try this? Because they've already tried it and it worked. So you can just click use suggestion. You can also hit the shuffle button and pick something else if you want something else. But the most important thing is that this button that you deliver on that message. If you're saying click here to learn more, you got to make sure that they get to learn more if they click on the button, right? So we've saved our text. Here's the media. It's already got that picture. I could add more pictures from the listing by clicking here. So maybe I wanted to do like a scrolling thing like so. I'm just going to save that. Right, then they would get the scroll through the pictures. Okay. I always like to just give them one picture because I want them to click on it. Again, I get to choose whether or not to include my ownership statement. And I'm going to click save. Media is done. Facebook settings. Always use the Facebook lead generation form. I'm going to say it again. Always use the Facebook lead generation form. Unless you've gotten really, really good at building out capturable landing pages, just use the Facebook lead generation form. Because as soon as they click on that button, it captured their stuff. If you go into using landing pages, they actually have to fill stuff out and all this and that and the other. Doesn't capture as many leads. So just use the Facebook lead generation form. Okay. Again, the button label, whatever it says, you want to make sure that you're delivering. So in this instance, it's learn more about this listing when you click here, right? If it was sign up, maybe you're doing a home buyer seminar, then they could sign up for it. Apply now, maybe you're doing an ad for Keller Mortgage, because your Keller Mortgage website is going to have them linked to you directly. They have to work with a KW agent or be buying a KW listing to have a Keller Mortgage, right? So if you were doing that, then you would use the apply now, but learn more works. You need somewhere for them to go after. When they click on the button, how are they going to learn more? Two choices. That landing page we built yesterday that was listing specific, you could put that there, because what do they get to do? They get to learn more. If they click on it and it takes them there, they get to look at the pictures. They get to look at all the stuff that we showed yesterday, right? Even faster than that, you can just go to your own website, right? I can go to my own website, 4650 Cherry Hill Lane. I think our websites are still wonky today, but we'll see what happens. 4650 Cherry Hill Lane. Oh, it's one word. My bad. This is also a website for this property that you didn't have to do anything but look it up. They get to see all the pictures. They get to see the acreage. They get to see the price. They get to see the number of bedrooms branded to you. It's got the property description, details, parking features, all the fun stuff, right? So you can just copy this right here. And when they click the button, it's going to take them right here so that they do get to, in fact, learn more about the listing, which is what you told them you were giving them, right? So pretty simple there. Now we get to choose our audience. It's going to default to 20 miles around the property, right? I can use custom settings by turning this button on. I can say, I don't want to go that far. I just want to go 15 miles. That's the lowest you can go around the property. Since that is a more expensive house, there are different methods of thought on adding interests here. Some people run it with no interest. Some people like to do, saying it's going to be so slow. It's going to make if they show interest in something that rhymes with pillow, more than likely they're going to show interest in homes. So you can pick that one. You could also pick realtor.com. Right? Some people do Trulia. Because if they're looking at any of these websites or showing interest in them, that probably means they might be looking for a home. Right? Some people also add, when it's expensive, luxury. If you type luxury, it's got like luxury vehicle, luxury living as some options. Some people like to do A/B testing. They want to run ad for 10. They run one ad for $10 with nothing chosen, and they run the exact same ad for $10 with a couple of things chosen, and they see which one performs better. And then they rerun the one that performed better for $25, right? So that, because it's just going to depend. It's going to depend on the market. It's going to depend on the listing. There is no solid concrete answer. And there are people that will tell you a little bit of both. So that's why a lot of people like to do the A/B testing. Okay. So you save that. Again, we're going check, check, check. Now we're at lead settings. So love this. Auto tag. Maybe this is my Cherry Hill. It's still one word, Monica. Facebook ad. So now everybody that comes in from this Facebook ad is going to be tagged Cherry Hill Facebook ad. So I know where they came from, right? I can also auto magically assign them to a smart plan like my Facebook smart plan, right? So I've got different ones in here that I've made. Again, you want to make sure that you have, this would probably be 27106. You can see I've made different ones for different zip codes because different parts of the smart plan say, you know, I see that maybe you're not interested in this home, but here's some other homes in 27106, right? So they're specific to that area. But make sure that you have the smart plan in place first. And if you go into smart plans and you go to the library and you search Facebook, there's a million different plans. You just find the one that you think speaks to you. If you're not comfortable making phone calls, maybe don't pick one that's got a bunch of phone calls. Pick one that's built on text and emails, right? If you don't want to use Twilio to send those automated texts, I recommend that you don't use one that includes text. Use one that includes phone calls and emails, right? So whatever you kind of want to do, there's all kinds of ads out. I mean, smart plans out there for Facebook ads that you can use. Okay. And last but certainly not least is duration and budget. If you've never done it before, run it for 10 bucks, right? They recommend a 10-day campaign at a budget of $1 per day per channel. 10 days, $10, right? So you can just run it for 10 bucks. I usually have helped people run them for $25, and they usually get somewhere between 40 and 50 leads, right? Sometimes they get somebody who actually wants to buy right now. Sometimes they don't, right? And that's just part of it, but you're still gaining exposure. And like we said, there are no bad leads. So I know we're a little bit over time, but if you guys want to look at the smart plan, at an example of the kind of smart plan that is good for conversion, then we can do that. If you have to hop off, I 100% understand that. And I won't be mad at you, I promise. But the most important thing before you run an ad, I can't say it enough, is these Facebook ads, Facebook follow-up smart plans. Where's mine? Let me look at mine that I published. This one. Okay. Yes, this is the one. So this one is published for you guys to go take. You just have to remember to go in and edit it, right? So the first thing it's going to do is tell you to make a phone call, and it's got a script for you to use, okay? Simultaneously, it's going to send them an email, because if this lead comes in at 11 o'clock at night, should you call them? No, but you want something to go out to them, so the email will go out instead of you know, you just won't make the call. You can call them in the morning, right? Hey, I saw that you clicked on my Facebook ad last night. Thank you so much. How can I help you? Go into your script, but at least they're going to get that email automatically, right? So the subject, looking for a home. It's a nice lengthy email. It's a simple text email. It's not a design. And it's going to fill in hi, contact first name, contact last name. I saw you were checking out the house we posted on Facebook yesterday. This says Facebook, Instagram. If you only did it on Facebook, you need to take out the word Instagram, right? So it's you got to edit it. You got to look through these smart plans to edit them. So if you're like me, you might have forgotten what you clicked on. So you need to insert this link, this one right here. If you're like me, you might have forgotten what you clicked on. Here is the link to the home, and you're going to take this and replace it with that link, right? Because that way they can click on it to see what house it was. If you're interested in seeing other properties for sale, please check out my website, which means what? You need to put your website here. I tried to highlight everything that you need to edit or make it red or whatever so that you guys would see it. Oh, it's top. Okay. Which is designed to get you the most accurate information. You can also download my app link. Now that is a merge field, so this will fill in your app link for you. You don't have to do anything with that one, but you do need to put your phone number and your email down here. Okay. Then it delays for 1 day. Then if you're using Twilio, it will automatically say, hi, contact first name. This is agent first name, last name with Keller Williams. I am just following up on the home you showed interest in on Facebook. I would love for you to get to take advantage of historically low interest rates. Do you have a few minutes to chat about your home buying search? It will automatically send them that text message. Okay. Delays 2 days. Sends an email, talk about low interest rates, right? You need to get your personalized Keller Mortgage link and enter it here. So once you've gone through and edited this the first time, you get the point. It delays 5 days. It tells you to call them again. It delays 1 day. It sends them an email again. It delays 4 days. It sends them a text. It delays 1 day, and then it tells you to call them. It delays 1 day, sends them an email. This is getting to the end of it where it's like, if they have answered you along the way and said, leave me alone, or yes, I am looking to buy a house, right? Then you've started talking to them, you take them off of this smart plan. It's intended to go on for this long for the people that haven't ever answered you, right? And so then towards the end, it says, okay, I'm here for you. I get maybe you're not looking to buy right now. This is that design email work with me buyer. But if you're looking to buy in the future, here's why you should use me. Okay. Then it delays 3 days. And then it says, hey, I'm not trying to be a pest. I just want to make sure you're taken care of. Despite the market, there are price improved homes in the area, right? I would love to share those with you. What's the best way for me to get these homes over to you? Then it delays 3 days. Then it sends them an email about price improved homes. I showed you guys how to do the search on your website for price improved homes, and then you copy the link. 2 day delay, and there's that task. Make sure to add a neighborhood into the contact card, because the next step is going to be to add them to the neighborhood nurture. And then it's going to do that for you. And then the last step is going to say, see any homes you like. When you registered on our site, I set you up on some listing and neighborhood alerts. I wanted to see if you've been receiving those, blah, 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 blah. And then it finally says, you know, I'm here if you ever need me. And then it just like those monthly emails just keep going, right? So when they are ready to buy, that it will, you've been in front of them the whole time, right? So, I mean, you don't have to use mine. Mine is just an example. I went through and looked at other people's and picked apart the parts that I liked and put them into one smart plan. But once you've edited it to your liking, you've got your name, your number, your website, all that stuff. And this house was in 27106, right? Because there was some like zip code specific stuff. Okay. Then the cool thing is, it's not like you have to go in there and build it again the next time that you do a Facebook ad. You just click these 3 dots and you make a copy. And you're like, okay, this one's going to be for 27104. Or this one's going to be for 123 Main Street, right? Depending on how much editing you're planning to do. So all of the same steps are there. You just have to go through and edit a couple of the things and then resave it. And then you have a new one. Right? So that's the most important thing, is to have that follow-up in place, because some people get like 40 or 50 leads. No one has time to follow up with the leads that way. And the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you're not going to have a follow-up plan in place, don't waste your $10 to $25 on running an ad in the first place. Right?
I will say I used it in the past and it works.
Yep. Yep. We have a class coming up in the region. I want to say it's next week. It's either next week or the week after that. And a guy ran a couple of Facebook ads, and I think he got like 150 leads. And so he's going to be highlighted on there. So keep an eye on that. I need to I'll add it to my calendar, and it's probably already on your market center's calendars. Well, Chapel Hill, you guys have a calendar too. I'll make sure it gets added on there. Let me see if Noah added it in Winston. That's this week. It would be red. He did not. Let me see if Becca added it. KW1. Regional is purple. I don't see it on there either. Okay, I'll make sure that I get it put on both of those calendars as well as my own calendar. But I think that that'll be a really good class if you guys want to get into running Facebook ads, right? So it's really all about the follow-up. You saw the running of the ads, not hard. You just go through the few steps. It automatically puts them on that smart plan. That's a newer feature, right? The cool thing is the tags. It tags them. You can segment out by the people that came in off Facebook ads, puts them on the smart plan. Then you just have to remember to go in and add the neighborhood to the contact, and then it'll put them on that neighborhood nurture so that you're reaching out to them forever and ever. Amen. So maybe they didn't need to buy. Maybe it was their mom that was looking for a house. You are now reaching out to them, right? So when she's ready, hopefully they'll call you. Pretty cool. I know we went over a lot today. Those are both big platforms, designs and campaigns. Tomorrow, we're going to look at everything else. We're going to look at tasks. We are going to look at the referral network. We are going to look at reports. We're going to look at the listings applet and answer any questions that you guys have. So it probably won't be as long of a class tomorrow. But hopefully this helped you guys. There's so much we can do in here. Just remember, don't get overwhelmed. The only thing you have to do in here is facilitate your transactions, right? You can learn this other stuff when you're ready at your own time, but at least you've gotten to see everything that it can do.
Tomorrow's, or even in general, how soon do you usually get them uploaded? By the evening?
Well, normally I usually do it right after, unless I'm like teaching or something else that day. It was just that yesterday the system went down, so the bottom fell out and all hell broke loose. So I'll get these all put up today.